Alright folks, buckle up, because we're diving deep into the underbelly of two of America's toughest cities, New York and Chicago. We're talking about organized crime, deep-rooted power structures that have been operating for decades. From back-alley origins to full-blown criminal enterprises, these five gangs have shaped the underground power struggles of New York City and Chicago. We're going to break down their origins, their evolution, and their impact on these cities. Let's do this. First up, we've got the Latin Kings. They started back in the 50s in Chicago, a time when being Puerto Rican in Humboldt Park meant you were automatically on the outside looking in. They wanted protection, a brotherhood, so they formed the Latin Kings. By the 80s, they went from protecting their community to running the streets. They'd migrated to New York, set up shop in the Bronx, and started throwing their weight around. Despite the feds trying to dismantle them, they just keep coming back. It's a dangerous game, but it's a reality. Next, we're heading straight into the heart of Chicago's South Side, a place with a rich history and a complex present. This is where the Gangster Disciples, or GDs, were born, a gang that has left an indelible mark on the community. Founded in the 60s, they rose to power under a dude named Larry Hoover, a man who would become a notorious figure in gang history. Hoover was like a general, building an army, a network that stretched across the Midwest, influencing countless lives. They controlled the drug trade with an iron fist, creating an underground economy that thrived on the streets. In the 2010s, whispers started about GD sets popping up in the Bronx and Brooklyn, expanding their reach. They were playing a different game: distribution, influence, and control over new territories. Fast forward to today, 2025, and the landscape has evolved, but the challenges remain. In Chicago, the GDs are still a major problem, their influence felt in every corner of the city. And New York? They're like sharks circling, waiting for the right moment to strike, always on the lookout for new opportunities. Now, you can't talk about gangs without talking about the Bloods. Their roots go all the way back to Los Angeles. But their story in New York? That's a whole other beast. It all started in Rikers Island, that pressure cooker of a prison system. By the 90s, New York had its own breed of Bloods G-Shine sex money murder. Chicago's seeing more Bloods activity, aligning with other gangs, causing chaos. The Bloods are survivors, they adapt, and that's what makes them so damn dangerous. Alright folks, this next one's not for the faint of heart. We're diving into the dark underbelly of urban life, where shadows hide more than just secrets. We're talking about MS-13, Mara Salvatrucha, one of the most notorious and violent gangs in the world. They came up in LA, started by Salvadoran immigrants, but they spread like wildfire, fueled by deportation, by desperation. Their influence grew rapidly, reaching far beyond the streets of Los Angeles. New York, specifically Long Island and Queens, became their new playground in the 2000s. The gang's presence was felt in the neighborhoods, creating an atmosphere of fear and tension. Chicago was a little slow to the MS-13 party, but in the past few years, they've been creeping in, setting up shop in the suburbs, no less. They're decentralized, making them harder to track and dismantle. It's 2025 and the feds are connecting the dots, linking them to human trafficking, extortion, murder. The scale of their operations is staggering and the authorities are in a constant battle to keep up. It's a level of brutality that's hard to comprehend. The violence they inflict is not just random, it's calculated, meant to instill fear and maintain control. But it's real, and it's happening in our own backyard. The threat is closer than we think, and it's up to communities and law enforcement to stay vigilant and fight back. Now, this last one, this is a new breed of gang, something we haven't seen before. They call themselves Tren de Aragua, and they hail from the most brutal prisons in Venezuela. These aren't just street thugs, they're a full-blown criminal syndicate. Smuggling, kidnapping, extortion, they do it all. They've exploded onto the scene in both New York and Chicago. They prey on recent immigrants, using fear and intimidation to control them. The Tren de Aragua is like a virus, spreading, adapting, and the scary part is we're only just beginning to understand the true scope of their operation. So there you have it, folks. The battle for control is more intense than ever. 5 gangs, 2 cities, and a whole lot of chaos. These aren't just street-level skirmishes, this is organized warfare. From Chicago's gritty South Side to New York's concrete jungle, these 5 gangs have evolved from neighborhood crews to global threats. Their influence stretches far beyond their local territories. They've infiltrated our prisons, our borders, even our communities. Their reach is extensive, and their operations are sophisticated. These gangs are more than just criminals. They're entrepreneurs, businessmen, and they're playing for keeps. They have diversified their activities, making it harder for law enforcement to track them. As of April 2025, law enforcement in both cities is on high alert. But community leaders warn arrests alone won't solve it. The problem is deeply rooted and requires a multifaceted approach. We're talking about deeply ingrained social issues, poverty, lack of opportunity, desperation. These are the breeding grounds for gang activity, and until these issues are addressed, the cycle will continue. Like, follow, comment, and share for more truth from the streets of New York versus Chicago. Stay informed, stay safe, and let's work together to make a difference.